All right.
Yay!
All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Saturdays with Steph. I am Stephanie. Nice to see you here. And I have a special guest today, my friend, Shannon Way. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Good
Hey,
to have
everybody.
you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to get to Shannon here in a minute. I'm going to tell you, well, she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and why she's here. But I've got a few things I want to talk about really quick. As you can see, I've got my all-star block of the week quilt on the wall behind me. Yay! This is the one thing that I sewed this week. I didn't sew anything else, but I put this together. The pattern is up on my blog now on my website, and I posted a video today of a little bit of tips on how to finish it. So go ahead and go grab that. I know several of you were waiting for the finishing instructions. Thank you for being patient with me. These last 2 weeks have been a little bit crazy. We had a great time at the retreat. Shannon was there. And
fun.
But leading up to the retreat and after the retreat, my life is a little bit crazy. But it's all worth it because it's so much fun. But that's up there now. So go ahead and grab that. And also I wanted to talk to you guys about my spring project. That went out this week and I did not realize, one of you caught it, so thank you for that, that there is a typo on the back page where all the fabric requirements are at. It actually says 2 yards of backing fabric. That should be background fabric, not backing. They shouldn't make those words sound similar. So that is incorrect. So if you got my spring project, and I'm going to send out an email to everybody who got it probably tomorrow to let them know, but that's 2 yards of background fabric, not backing. 2 yards will definitely not be enough for that quilt. So for backing fabric. So that's what you'll need for that quilt is 2 yards of background. All right, that's done. That's the major announcement that I had to tell you guys. Now to Shannon. She is here today to talk to us about legit kits because those seem to be the hot new thing on the market right now, which I'm really excited about. I bought mine last year after the first Millersburg retreat at a quilt expo about a week after the retreat, and I've had it in a bag the whole year.
Show it off.
So today, Shannon's going to talk to us about that, how to get organized and start the project, and tell us a little bit about her new YouTube channel.
Yay!
So Shannon, take it away. Tell us about your channel, why you started it, and a little bit about yourself, where you're from, all that jazz.
Okay. So I'm Shannon Way. My YouTube channel is Slay Arts. It's because it's my first initial and my middle name is Lee. So I don't know. I couldn't figure anything else out. So Slay Arts it was.
I love it. I think that's very creative.
And it's a sleigh. I don't know. I'll have to figure out a logo that somehow works around that. And I actually created Slay Arts when I was doing a little bit of digital art things during the pandemic. And I thought it was going to become this great artist for some reason, having not really drawn ever before that. But I thought, this is it, the pandemic. I'm going to become YouTube famous for making art, or Instagram famous. And quickly got bored because I wasn't immediately fantastic at it. So I was actually, we talked a little bit about this. I was watching TikTok and because that's what you do in the pandemic and you have to go down rabbit holes, spend a lot of time. And found a girl on TikTok who was doing some quilting, and she made a rag pillow, and it was uh-oh. Did I freeze or did Stephanie freeze? Oh.
Nope, there you are. You froze for just a second.
I froze a second. Okay, I was like, oh, is that me or is that Stephanie? She was making a rag pillow and I was like, oh, that looks fun. I can try that. And so I did, and I was like, oh, this is I learned all the ways not to sew with like felt and stuff. and I learned what the Ripper was, Jack the Ripper was, and I became very good friends with him.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of where I got started and fell in love with the whole quilt thing, and started watching like all of like YouTube is super good about giving you people who to watch and everything. So Donna Jordan and Missouri Star, Jenny Doan, and all the people, and then came across Stephanie Stitches and started watching Stephanie, and just continued like growing and loving all the things quilty. And part of my OCD of really liking particular things, fell in love with foundation paper piecing. I did do and I'm still in Piecing It Real, which is event which I know a lot of people know and are in. So shout out to all of those folks. That's what got me started in doing foundation paper piecing, and I started finding other people that were doing it, and learning tips and tricks from them, like Pride and Joy, Quiet Play, Cotton and Bourbon, who does these amazing radial, like, oh my gosh, Mobius things. I'm taking a class with her, with Ingrid, actually, next weekend. Yeah, super excited about that. Awesome. So the whole precision of FPP kind of really took hold. I'm very excited about it. And then I learned about Legit Kits. I have my Legit Kits t-shirt on. And what I really loved about Legit Kits is it's a lot of impact because they use a lot of great colors, but with really easy, like all of their things are on 8x11 sheets. And then so you can just, focus on that one piece, and you don't have to look at the entirety of the quilt, which is where I would lose myself sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I'm going to show you guys how I kind of organize it. Once you start organizing it and breaking it down into smaller pieces, I was like, oh, I can totally do this. And then I became a tester, and then they put out the call. I tested Sail Away, which is the sailboat, obviously, Sail Away with a really gorgeous sunset. And while I was doing that, they put out the call for the certified instructors. The goal now with the YouTube channel and with FPP, with Legit Kits, is I'm hoping to become a certified Legit Kits instructor, which I think is going to be so much fun.
That is awesome.
It's going to be like I could do it with like guilds in the area and quilting shops and all that kind of stuff. I apologize. I came back from the retreat with a frog in my throat, so a little bit scratchy.
That's okay. That's okay. So what do we need to do to get you to be a certified teacher?
So the goal, I filled out the form. You had to fill out a form online, and in the testing group, they were really amazing. There are some amazing women in there who are ambassadors. So they've been doing this, they've been teaching the classes and everything before they ever did this certified instructor program, but that they decided they were going to do that. And they were so awesome, giving examples of what you would need to do. So the things that I'm starting to do, and you'll see, I'm going to start like really doing even more now that I've figured out a better rig for doing YouTube, is showing how I'm doing the Legit Kits, how I'm organizing it, how I'm working each block, how I'm putting rows together, how I'm putting the entire kit together, the whole quilt, and then how I'll end up long arming it. Some of them will send them away and get them like custom done. Amazing work. One of these days I'll have a long arm and I'll get to do that myself. But right now I do a lot. I'm like in love with the matchstick quilting right now. So
yeah,
that's my jam.
Well, I may have gotten a bag from Shannon at the retreat, and she did the matchstick quilting, and it's gorgeous.
So much fun. I'm a little bit addicted to it, but it's been a ton of fun. So showing my range, but also showing the other things that I've worked on. So the fact that I have done some Quiet Play blocks and put together some pieces, and like the swaps that we've done with Piecing It Real and all that kind of stuff, all like builds my resume and shows that, you know, with each project I'm learning and I'm sharing what I've learned with folks on my YouTube channel. And so every little bit helps. And if I get picked in the first round of them doing it, awesome. If I don't, I'm still going to continue doing it because I really, really love them a lot and I have a lot of fun doing it. And I've found that I really enjoy showing other people that it's not as scary as you might think. Because when you first see, like, you're like, oh, look at all those little tiny pieces. I could never do that. And then you actually do it and you're like, I'm a rock star. I love that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I love FPP too, just for the fact that you can make so many things that you could never make traditionally. It just opens up like a whole new world of possibilities. So
yeah, the angles, the layering of color, just everything. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I bought my kit, like I said, and I have not opened it yet. So Shannon's going to tell us what you need to do when you get your kit, how to organize it, your first steps, because I will show you my kit now. This is how big and thick it is. And so that alone makes it a little scary. So that's the whole kit. And I have the Ursula Major and Minor, which is the mama and baby polar bear.
So sweet.
How cute is that? But look how thick that is. So that alone, along with the huge amount of papers in here, is a little intimidating. So Shannon's going to tell us the best way to open this kit, how to organize it, and what to do first.
And I'm going to turn this camera on.
Sure.
And hope to see.
I sees your hands.
Weird angled. Oh, that
perfect. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I see you all saying hello, but I didn't want to interrupt Shannon. So I'm
a chatty Kathy.
Thank you all for coming today and saying hello to Shannon and I, because everybody's saying hello to you as well. I know you can't see the chat. Ingrid said Shannon is a legit kit and FPP superstar. Yes, she is. Oh, that was sweet.
Let's try to get this a little bit.
Seeing if there's any other questions really quick. I don't really see, I just see a lot of highs, which is awesome. It'll take me like 5 minutes to say everybody's name. So I'm just going to say hello to everybody as a blanket thing right now. Here for the fun said I'm late. You're not late. You're fine. We're just getting started.
Just adjusting the camera so we can see everything.
CS number 4 said CS strong.
Right.
Good to see you, Dada.
There we go. Ish. All right. A
Della,
little bit better.
Della said it's nice to meet you, Shannon.
Oh, very nice to meet you too. Thank you, guys. Everyone. Okay.
All right, girls. So tell us what I got to do. Tell me what I got to do first.
Okay. So first you got to be brave and get it out of the box. I know it's very exciting to have the box.
Although I have to say, I really like that it came, because I bought this at a show. I like that it came in this super heavy duty plastic. That was nice to keep it all together.
Yes. Super cute. What you'll see first is a bunch of paperwork, and this is the good stuff.
Okay.
When you open up the paperwork, when you get to see your first legit quilter sticker,
I see, it's so cute.
Your legit kit's magnet. These are addicting. I don't know if anybody has been to Disney World, but you get very addicted to trading pins in Disney World.
Yes.
These are just as addicting, and I will never be trading them for anybody. They're
okay, so this is what my magnet looks like. Look how cute.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Adorable. It's so cute.
There's BJ the Blue Jay.
And you got the Blue Jay. How cute. And then I'm too legit to quit.
Too legit.
Legit quilter. That's neat. I like that.
Yep. That's why I have one on all the things. And I'll show you where this sticker will end up when I start organizing.
Sure thing. Real quick, I'm going to answer a question. Jackie DVD Stitch Art asked, when is the next Cotton Cut Zoom? So we push that to next week, Jackie, and Shannon will be there and everybody else. We're going to sew it up next Saturday. There's still a bunch of people who have not received their clue, including myself. Plus, we figured because this week is Easter that a bunch of people wouldn't be able to come. So it was kind of a group decision. We decided to push it. So we'll be sewing that next Saturday right here at 5 o'clock.
Perfect. Okay, so this is where some of the organization starts, because you have this
so
big
should
pack.
I take it out of the plastic like that? Is that good?
Yep, that's
Okay.
perfect. And then I'll just leave the paperwork right here. Now,
Okay.
so this, I want to let everybody know, this is what works best for me after only doing a couple of legit kits. So I next year might be doing something entirely different, and you might watch somebody and see how they do it and like their way better. There are people out there like Cranky Kangaroo is a really popular YouTube legit kit lady, Jamie, and she does an incredible job. And the way she organized it makes my brain hurt. So I went a little bit differently. But what I get is this huge accordion file.
Okay.
That opens up so wide. And this works really great for me. So I will have that on the side here, ready to go in just a sec. So with the accordion file and all of the paperwork, what I'll do is behind there are the FPP papers that look, the thin papers. On the back side, there are also a couple of pieces of regular print paper, like, these kind of things with instruction.
Yeah, it looks like kind of a guide to foundation paper piecing.
Yep, I go ahead and pull that from the back, and I put that with all of my paperwork, the picture, the pattern side that has so this grid will show you what it's going to look like. And this helps with my organization. I know how many rows I'm going to have and how many columns I'm going to have. And so I like to look at this because they're all a little bit different. So BJ the Blue Jay has 4 columns and 4 rows. Sail Away had 8 columns and whatever A through H is, whatever number that is. Is that
okay? So that's 8 because mine has A through H. So I have 8 columns and 8 rows. And for this guy,
8 by 8. So when you take a look at that's gonna help in how I organize it. It lets me know what I'm going to make my file folders look like.
Okay.
So I put all of that together. So I like to take a look at those pictures. And then this is the finished, because remember with FPP, when you're sewing it, you're sewing the mirror image onto the paper. And so what you'll see when you're sewing is going to be flipped when you actually pull the papers off, and your right side is going to look different than like your quilting side.
Yeah. So a quick question came in. It said, late to the party, are you all doing the Blue Jay? Teresa, Shannon's doing the Blue Jay. And I'm doing this guy.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're saying to each other with those wide open mouths.
Mom's
that child is sassing.
I know, the baby's sassing and mom's like, knock it off. Just
Not
perfect
today,
for my house
one.
with all my kids.
This will have your color guide, is some of the next pieces of paper. So some of this is my goal. I now have 5 legit kits. My end goal is to do what I've seen a lot of folks do, where they have a file folder for every single color. That's my dream, to have a file folder of every color of Kona that I can go and pick from, that I'll be able to use for other projects. I have not gotten there yet because I haven't used enough of the fabric, so it just hasn't become an issue for me yet of how I need to kind of wrangle all of the fabrics. But that's my goal in the end, and they will cut these out and tape them to their organizational, either file folders or however it is they do, they will use these, which I think is brilliant, because after you've made it, you don't really need these color guides anymore.
Well, and I was
But
going to say, I see this fabric list by code.
Yep.
And that's really neat as somebody who purchases fabric, because that makes it easier for me to like, okay, I know I need to get, instead of just looking for a color, I need to get that number.
That it gives you the code, but it also gives you the amount that you're going to need.
Yeah.
And they're very generous. So it'll say, so the color is sea glass. They do try often to have the letter. So sea glass is SG. They'll try to do that often, but it doesn't always work out that way. Because you'll see baby blue for me is D. How do you get D from baby blue? I don't know. That's the letter that was available for them. So that's what they use. But they'll tell you the Kona number, like you were saying, and then that 116 for the baby blue. Then you only have a 5.5 by 9-inch scrap of the blueberry. But so it's giving you all the information. So you had mentioned all of the fabric that you get in the kit, and sometimes the price of the kit is intimidating in and of itself, because they're $300-400 depending on which one you get. Almost $500 depending on how big a size.
Yeah.
I thought that I was going to be groovy and be able to pick out all the colors for one of the flowers to do for my mom. And I thought, oh, I've got colors. I'm good. The amazing amount of detail that they put in, I would have lost my mind trying to figure out how to match all those colors, because I, again, remember that digital art stuff. I'm not that good at that stuff, and I'm not really good at all at color theory, which is how I will never become an artist. So it became more of a hassle, and it became less fun trying to put it together myself, which is then when I just said, okay, I'm just buying the kit. That is not for everybody. That's what works for me. It makes sense for me, so that I'm still having fun and enjoying myself, to buy the kit already put together with the fabrics all labeled. I'll show you guys. They have their labels on the fabrics already. I don't have to come up with a way of labeling 82 different colors. So it works for me. It makes sense.
I did buy the kit, like you said, and I was a little intimidated by the price, but to be fair, I did buy it at a show, and I know they do good sales at quilt shows. So if you guys ever go to a quilt show, that would be the place to pick it up. Because really, looking at this list, this color guide, there's 50 colors in my quilt, which means if I just bought the pattern, because you can just buy the patterns, I would have to go to a quilt shop, or probably multiple quilt shops, because almost no quilt shop carries that many colors, and literally source each of these things. And I guarantee you it's going to cost way more than just buying the kit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of quilt shops, say the one, you only need scrap. A quilt shop's not going to let you buy scrap.
Exactly.
So you're going to already be spending more money. So really quick, a question came in, and this is a really good question. Lucy Scott says, let's say you messed up an FPP page and you need another page. Can you order just that page, or are you supposed to copy the whole pattern in case you have multiple dates with Jack on the same scene? I would like dates. Dates what?
Dates? Who are we dating?
Yeah, who are we dating?
So the page is a very good question. Well, now, I'm going to assume, because I have not asked about the page, so that's a very good question, and I'm going to write that down, because I will ask about if a page gets so messed up. I know that if you are a super generous fabric cutter and you run out of fabric, that if you contact Legit Kits, they will send you fabric so that you can complete your kit, which is incredible. So to me, I feel like if they're going to send you the fabric, they probably would be able to send you the page too. Yeah. With that being said, it depends on how beat up you've made your page, because if you do use like washi tape to put it together on the sides, you want to put it together on the back side so that you can still see, you want to be able to see the sew lines. So if you put your washi tape on the back to put it back together again, that does not gum up your machine. So I have, as much as I enjoy doing this, and I feel like I've become pretty good at doing this, I have had to tape many a square together or a block together when I've gotten too big for my britches and gone too fast and like gone over, or I got sassy and thought I could cut the fabric really, really close and then it doesn't work. And I sew, this too. Personally, I sew at a 1.2, even on this really thin paper. I just sew at a 1.2 stitch length, and that is murderous to rip out. So the paper is often the casualty of war in that situation for me. And so washi tape has become I have a mug. I have one of the Lori Holt like mugs full of washi tapes because
that's fun.
I have to have them on hand.
So if you're a washi tape person or you didn't know what to do with washi tape, now you know what you can use it for. And if you don't have washi tape and you're at home and you're starting one of these, but you have the Cluck Cluck Sew diagonal seam tape, that is washi tape. And I've used that before in a pinch on an FPP pattern, and same thing, you could sew right through it, doesn't gum up your needle, perfect. So there you go.
You know, y'all are coming in to the real deal. I have used Scotch tape before and just cleaned off my needle because stuff had to happen. I needed to get things done and I did what I had to do. So nobody is going to tell on you. I just told on myself, but nobody else needs to know.
You sure did.
What you have to do.
But it sounds like their customer service is good though. So like you were saying, they'll give you some extra fabric. I imagine if they're willing to do that, they would give you a page.
Yeah. They also have, so it is an additional cost, but because you put in a lot of money into buying this, and what if you find out you don't like it and this is not for you and you will never finish this and you just dropped $500? They have a protection plan, which is, when I heard this, it is the most unheard of thing ever, but it's an additional price. You pay that additional price. They will take back your kit. You package everything back up, all the blocks that you have sort of done, all of the fabrics that you might have cut into or not, whatever you got to, you send it all back to them and then you get refunded.
Nice.
So
wow, what company does that? That's great.
Yeah, who does that? It's amazing.
Nobody.
Amazing. So if you, it's a big investment, and if you decide, oh my gosh, I'm like 3 blocks in or I'm 3 rows in, and this is just not for me. If you've done that protection program piece of it, you can send it all back, and then no harm, no foul. They'll have someone else finish it because sure, I mean, why not? It's already kind of started. They'll use it at shows.
So that actually shows you how committed to customer service they are. Yeah. So I can't imagine they wouldn't get you a page if you needed it.
Right. But so I will get the answer to that because I had not asked that, and it's a really good question. I will get the answer to that.
2 questions real quick. I lost it. Let's see. Oh, Teresa asked, what kit did I get? So Shannon has the Blue Jay. I've got the Ursula Major and Minor. That's the name of the kit. It's the little bears. And then a question for you, Shannon. Do you change the color every time, or what color thread do you use when you do these?
So when I'm piecing them, when I'm just onto the paper, I don't change the color every time. I am a murderous ironer. I ruthlessly iron the bejeebies because I will use the Magic Juice. I will use the Acorn Easy Press. And I will iron that to within an inch of its life. So the 1.2, the 1.2 stitch length is really great because you won't see it. Also, what I started doing from another class that I had taken is using, and this is just me, but I use a clear thread. That's the word I was looking for. Thread, that stringy stuff. Thread. I use a clear thread, and they're pre-wound bobbins. It's Superior, which is a high heat thread. So that's what I use, because again, I am psycho and attack my fabric when I'm ironing it back. And so I can't see anything with the small stitch length and the clear thread. Now,
Yeah.
that gets expensive. So there is that. I always kind of, for every other piecing I do, I've always used Aurifil Dove 2600. I've also gotten Wonderfil, the Deco Bob, which is really good because it's super thin. That's a good one. It's not 100% cotton, but it is durable. So if you're a maniac like I am and you like to iron, it holds up to that. Yeah, I'm really like, you're gonna be flat today.
Right?
Sorry.
You're gonna go where I want you to go.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the light gray kind of blends into everything. So that's kind of just been my go-to for everything, for regular piecing and for FPP. And until I discovered the clear stuff, and I just really like it. So that's why I use it. It works for me. But when I'm quilting it, and I have not quilted one yet, and I don't have a long arm, but I have my domestic machine. But I've decided for sail away, I'm going to be a maniac, and I am going to color match for every section.
Oh, nice.
Because it's so gorgeous, and I'm going to echo all of the shapes that they have. So like in the Blue Jay, you'll see the large prints. These large prints go across different blocks, but I'm going to echo quilt across all of the blocks and color match. And it's going to take me 17 years. And my mother-in-law, my stepmother will get it when she gets it. Because it's going to take me a while. But
it's going to be amazing.
I think it's so worth it because it's so beautiful and the colors are so amazing. I think that's going to be really worth it. You do not have to do that. A lot of people will do edge to edge, the panto, like all this, or just straight line, whatever works for you, whatever you like. You don't have to be cuckoo like I am at all.
You're not cuckoo. I think it's great. That's awesome. So, let me see here. I missed a couple things. Ange So's, hi, good to see you. She said, these legit kits look really difficult. What's your opinion on that?
So when I first saw it, they looked scary to me too. Super scary, really detailed for me. And when I knew I was coming on to Stephanie's channel today, I went and I talked to the tester group that I'm a part of with Sail Away. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to be talking about, legit kits. And I'm going to talk about the things I learned, but what are things that you guys would have wanted to know too as beginners? And a couple of people really gave really great ideas. And this is one of those where you're scared of it. What they suggest, and what I think is so smart, is, so the Blue Jay is a little bit different. There's not as many rows. Stephanie, you'll see this with your bears. You see these blocks on like the outside? These have super large pieces.
Yeah, I see that. There's hardly any work really to be done in those pieces.
Yeah, like 3, 2, some of them. This one has 2, just a 1 stitch line, 2 pieces of fabric. Start on those and don't look at the entirety. Don't look at all of this. Don't look at this big bunch of papers and think what you have, like all this work that you have to do. Just look at it as today or this hour or this week. This block right here is the one I'm going to do. And this is 2, 3 seams. And this is what I'm going to do right now. And if you start on those outside ones that have the large blocks of fabric, which, to be honest, the larger blocks of fabric can also be a hindrance because they flip-flop all over the place. If you like to glue your fabric down, so that first piece of fabric that you'll use, now, because these are Kona solids, they're all double-sided. You don't have to worry. There's no directional fabric and there's no right or wrong. So you're not as worried about other FPP where you have to worry that that first piece is right side up. You don't have to really worry about that. But if you want a little bit of that, Elmer's glue or the Lori Holt's glue, the pig pencil
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you can do that. Some folks will cut their fabric large enough and they'll do in the margins, they'll do a stay stitch to hold their fabric flat. Also awesome, totally works. Because again, those larger pieces of fabric can get unwieldy because they'll flip flop all over the place.
Yeah.
But if you get used to that, get used to the larger pieces and start working your way into like these blocks in the Bluejay, B2, all these teeny little pieces, that's going to be a lot of work for sure. But I'm going to go take a look at B2 so that we can see what it looks like. And
so here's a question while you're finding that. Do you find, and I'm not sure, I don't remember if you're a best presser or starcher, but if you are, do you find that that actually helps with your fabric staying where you want it to as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a soaker. Some folks are soakers, like they'll take the Stay Flow starch and they'll do half and half water. And then they'll soak it and dry it and then iron it all. I have done that a couple times. That to me that's too stiff. That can stand up by itself.
Yeah.
That's too much for me. But I like best press. I also just got the Acorn their fabric treatment, their spray bottle thing. So I'm going to try that because I use the Acorn Easy Press. And one of the videos I had made was talking about how I use the Easy Press, but I use it once I flipped the paper over, the piece of fabric over. So I'm doing it on 3 layers of fabric so that the paper doesn't get wonky.
Yeah.
And somebody who used a different starch, it showed like a little bit of a white haze, which will wash out, but not what you want to see when you're trying something new for the first time.
Right.
And you have a heart attack, but now there's this weird haze on your fabric.
Right.
So you might, if you intend to use different starches and different like flat or something like that when you're ironing it, you might want to test it out on a piece of like random Kona that you have like the selvage or whatever, to see how they interact, to see how they react together, so that I'll get a haze and I'll just wash it out, whatever. Or like if it's going to be a wall hanging, maybe you're not going to wash it, or you never intended to wash it, and then you're like, oh no, I have to wash it. So you might want to play around and see. I've not had the Acorn have a reaction to best press, but that's what I use best press. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah. So
okay.
But I was searching for B2 because so B2 as a whole block is a lot of pieces together, but you're going to cut them all apart. And so then you can put you're going to focus on B2I. You put all of these other pieces away. They don't let them stare at you and judge you. Put them away. They don't need to be a part of the party. You're just focusing on this piece with these little itty bitty pieces of fabric, which make me so happy. I love these guys. So again, even though this block is going to have a lot of pieces to put together, and we'll talk about how Legit Kits does this amazing help, these white lines that help you sew them together at the end, and we'll talk about that too. All you're focused on at this time is just B2I, and that's all you have to worry about. So don't look at the whole picture, just look at what you have to get done right now.
Right.
Which is like a life lesson that you're learning from FPP.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Totally. Okay, so a couple of things. Let's see. Oh, John, I'm glad to hear that. He said he just got the Acorn Easy Press from my shop and he loves it. I'm happy when people love it. Let's see. I missed a few things. I'm going to go back. Shelly Stewart is here, and she said she's been looking at the Eagle kit, but she's a little intimidated. You can do it, girl. I know you can because you are a paper piecer.
Yep.
And Chesko Roca is here. Hi, Chesko. Good to see you. And he said, I use Stay Flow 1 part to diluted to 2 parts of water in a pump spray, and he gets top result. That would be a lot cheaper of an option compared to Best Press. So that's a great tip. Thank you, Chesko.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if there's any other. There's a lot of you talking, which is awesome, but I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any important questions. If you guys have any questions, make sure you're putting at Quilting with Stephanie Stitches, and that way it'll pop up with a highlighted thing telling me that you're asking a question. But I think I've got all of the questions or important comments. I don't see any more right now. Okay, cool. All right. So,
all right.
Now that you've talked about all that, you talked about the organizing. So you're saying you keep all of row A in a section?
Yep. So
is that how you do it? Okay.
Take a look. Let me pull these guys out. So how I do the paperwork is in folders like this. I'll have the welcome kit, which the instructions from the back, which I recommend you read probably a couple of times because they'll give really good hints. There's also amazing YouTube videos out there to watch. Hopefully mine starts to become that good too.
You'll Shannon.
Take a look at mine every once in a while.
I saw that somebody put your YouTube channel in the description box, but if you missed that, it's in the chat, but it's in the description box below this video too. So don't forget to go over there and subscribe to Shannon.
Thank you. Yes, please. Support the tiny ones.
Yes.
So I start off with a bunch of file folders. I'll do the welcome kit. I'll break out the assembly guide into a file folder, the cut guide, and then I have a working section. This working section also helps me focus on just what I'm working on so I don't feel overwhelmed. And when I'm using the working section, I'll take whatever piece. I'm just going to pull the back one out because this is the one.
No, you're fine.
So sometimes I'm working on more than one piece, but let's just say I only have 15 minutes today and I know I'm going to only be able to do this one. So I'll take this piece. I am also a cut the fabric as you goer, and some people are not. Some people are not comfortable with that. I have become comfortable doing that just with all of the different kind of FPP projects I've done. Some folks will, and it's totally recommended, especially for your first one. If you've never done FPP, their cut guides. So this is the welcome. Assembly guide.
Chesko said, we are with the small ones. Yay, thank you.
Yay. Their cut guides for all of the colors will give you exactly how you want to work with each and every color. It tells you the block that you're cutting these pieces for and the section within that block. So it's B2, that block, the T, one piece. So,
yeah, I'm looking at that now. Okay, that makes sense.
And you kind of get the layout. There are a lot of folks that will go through and are far more organized than I am, and that works for them, and that's awesome. I'm a cut it as I go. I enjoy it. It makes me happy to do it that way, and that's just how I do it. But if you're starting out, or if you're concerned that you might not have enough fabric because you look through all the cut guides and say these pieces were a little bit better, and it looks like you're just going to end up with this little bitty like square of a piece left, and that concerns you, then I would cut that one first. I would go ahead and cut all the pieces out of that one first, so you know exactly what you have, and then file it in that row.
I'm going to show this in my camera too really quick. So this is what a cut guide looks like sort of close up. So this is one of the fabrics, and these are all the pieces that you're going to need from that fabric. If, like Shannon said, if you're one of those people who likes to cut ahead of time. I've done a lot of FPP, and I'm like Shannon. I like to kind of cut as I go. So,
Yeah.
but
But
whatever
you want to
works
start,
for you.
yeah, you want to start where you are. And if you're jumping in and this is the first one you've done, I would definitely recommend cutting out the pieces so that you feel comfortable, you know what you have, you know where you're going. And you know, if you've made a mistake and you need to get that extra fabric, you can go ahead and do that, you know, ahead of time. So
I
that is
love
that
that they
picture.
also put the name of the fabric and the number again on these in case you do make a mistake, because then you don't have to like dig through anything. You could be like, oh, I need more of the garnet 1151.
Aren't they so organized? I
They're
love
very
it.
organized. This is
They
great.
speak to me. It
So
speaks to me for sure.
this kit of that I have, it's going to be 60 by 80. So this is the cut guide. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of paper. This is the assembly guide, which I'm assuming I can put this away till way later.
So when I start doing the so like what I have in my working section, I say I'm going to do D4. The assembly guide, I'll go ahead and grab and put in that folder. So I know how to put the whole piece together.
Good idea. And so let me ask you a question. Do you get such a big expanding folder? Is it because when you finish, like this is my A1, right?
Yep.
So once I get A1 done, do you stick this whole thing with the fabric attached into your folder?
Into my row A. Yep. So for the Blue Jay, it'll go back. And when I finish the row, I'll put it back in my file folder for row A. The completed row.
Okay. I was sitting here going, why does she need such a big file folder? But then I thought maybe that's what she does. And that makes complete sense.
And what I'll tell you is even my sail away where it is 8x8, like your Ursula Minor and Major, I was able to get 2 kits in this guy doing it the same way. I was able to get one of the flowers, which is a 4x4, and the 8x8 in this
one of those
cube.
big folders.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then
so
what she was
it's
talking
got plenty
about,
of room to grow.
The user guide she was talking about looks like this. And it's a 14-page user guide. So it tells you all about what you're doing, how to FPP. It's got all the tips in it. There's how to pin and align your blocks. There's everything. I mean, this is legit. They seriously give you everything. So
they give you some video resources on how to look at it.
They're setting you up to succeed, definitely, not to fail. So this is great.
Yeah. Well, and they really want you to succeed. I've gotten to hear Michael Odell, the guy who owns Legit Kits. He's talked on a couple of channels, and he's like a kid in a candy store. This means so much to him and his family, and he just wants everybody to love it as much as he does, which is infectious in such a fun way. And the people that he has working with him, like they got an ambulance. So he's an EMT, and they bought an ambulance to go from quilt show to quilt show to quilt show, which is hysterical. And the kids that he has, okay, so all right, I call everybody a kid. I'm sorry, that might be. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I call everybody a kid. The young men that he has driving those are a hoot. They are so funny to watch them. I follow them on Instagram and stuff, and the things they post. It's just such a fun company that I really want to be a part of, and it's infectious, and they make it so much fun, and they are so responsive on social media to try to help you with any questions you might have, to set you up for success, because they want you to finish it so that you can show it off. So many people have won awards at quilt shows with these, like finishing them and putting them in quilt shows, and they will call you out if you win. And you put it on your own social media, they will absolutely highlight you on all their social medias and stuff. Cool. It brings them such joy. It's so cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so lots of people saying thank you, Shannon. They subscribed. So
gosh, thank you so much.
I love your organization and cutting tips, said Mary Ann.
Thank you.
Let's see. Matt Geek said, I think I'm going to need to buy some more file folders. Me too. I'm gonna go get one because I have to go grocery shopping in the morning. I'm gonna grab one when I'm over there because
Yeah,
I didn't even think about how to organize that. So thank you for that tip because I love it.
it
Because
can get
I'm all
away from
about
you.
organization. Yeah.
It can really get away from you. And I did try using a binder at first, which was because Ingrid actually she had been a tester before and she used the binder. And so I
Mhm.
first used that, and then someone in the tester group, and I went back to try to find what her name was because I really wanted to thank her for this file folder idea,
Uh-huh.
because this is genius to me, and
Yeah.
this is really what works for me, and it makes sense to me, where the binder was harder to work with. And
Yeah.
so going and buying this, and then I think for me having the working section, because I work a 9 to 5 job, and at lunch I might get a couple of minutes in to be able to sew, and then I've got to hurry up and file it away to put it away and clean up. So I put everything back in my working section. I put my working section back in the front of my file folder, and then in a couple of days when I have time again, I just pull the working section out and I know exactly where I'm at, and I can just start and go. And in my
Awesome.
working section, I'll even have, so if I'm working on this, I'll grab the fabric. So I'll have the fabric in here, the assembly guide, and then these pieces,
Hmm.
trimmed out and everything. So I can actually start
Nice.
working on it.
Now I love that file folder idea because I actually thought originally of a binder with the page protectors, but it'd be really difficult, I think, to put the pieces in there that are already sewn.
It was. And
So
then
yeah.
it's so heavy, and
Mhm.
the page protectors started slipping through the binder teeth. And I was
Mhm.
getting very frustrated with that. So kudos to, I really wish I remember what her name was and could find where she put that in the suggestions. And that was
Yeah.
fantastic, because it has really worked for me. And I have 4 of them now, because I have the flowers and mini Sculliver and Sail Away and now BJ the Blue Jay. So my my collection is getting bigger. And one day this will just have all the scraps in alphabetical order of all of the colors of the rainbow of Kona that they provide.
That's so cool. You'll probably be able to make a whole one out of the scraps.
Right.
Yeah. So John
You just
said if they're younger than you, then they are kids.
yes,
That's right. Right.
that's how it works in my head, but I know that that can be, offensive.
Yep.
So, all right.
Um, Shelly said, our store's open tomorrow with it being Easter Sunday. The grocery stores here by me are,
Yeah.
but nothing else. And we don't have any family in the area. So we don't do a big Easter thing. So I'll go first thing in the morning
Before everybody else goes out there for the stuff
before
they
anything
forgot.
else happens. Yeah. So if not, maybe I'll go tonight after the live. I don't know. One of the times. But okay, so now that we've got like all of that, let's pretend that all that's organized, which mine is not yet. So I've got this bag of fabric, right? Well,
Yes.
this is one of a couple bags of fabric, but so should I start pulling these out and putting them in order of the color list, or how do you organize that part?
So for me, I'll move this aside and grab my colors too. What I'll do is pull all of the colors out, and then I start alphabetizing,
Okay.
starting with the smallest pieces. So I'll alphabetize the little fragment pieces.
Uh-huh.
I'll alphabetize them. Then the scraps, which are the 5.5 by 9s, I'll alphabetize them all together, and then so on. So all my little packets will be alphabetized.
And you
Usually.
alphabetize, I'm assuming, by the letter that they put on the big letter, not the color name, right?
Right. Yep.
It's
The
like I
code.
have one that is KY, but the actual number is, or the actual fabric name is Prairie Sky.
No, I do it from, yeah, often it's 2 letters. Sometimes it'll be
Uh-huh.
1 letter, like that baby blue is just D. Often
Uh-huh.
it's 2 letters, sometimes 1. Now I usually do it this way, where I alphabetize all the sizes. Sometimes I'll just put them like this and go, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a file folder. I'm going to make it A, and so, I write A on it. And then I go, where are all my A pieces? I just find all of the A pieces, and then I put all of A. So A through AZ will be in the A file folder.
Okay.
And I excuse me, so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm doing it this way because I haven't gotten to where I just have a plethora of colors. And from there, I might just have this whole file folder, and every kit I get, I'll just put alphabetize all the pieces in that big file folder of all the colors. But for right now, I just keep everything together for each kit, and I'll put all of the A through Z in my A folder, B through BZ in my B folder, all the way through. You won't always have the full alphabet. Some of the colors you won't have a letter for, just because you don't have a fabric from that letter family. But so I think Q looks like seems to be as far as the Blue Jay goes.
Okay.
But so then that's how I will have all the fabrics together. So then when I have my working section, and so for this piece, it's 5 pieces of fabric, and I'll go, okay, I try to do it alphabetically too from here. I know I have to have the CF, the ES, the GR, QE, and the S. And so I'll just go in my file, pull those pieces out, put it in my working section with my piece of paper and my assembly guide, and go to my machine and start working.
Okay.
So that's what works for me. Maybe if I had thought about it in the beginning, maybe I would have just done, all of the files and done it that way. But for right now, with the smaller number of kits that I have, this works really well for me. And then I just have, the one file folder that I'll pull off depending on what I have 4 of them in the works all at the same time right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just bounce from one thing to the next. So I'll just pull whichever file folder that I want to work on at that moment. Then I grab my working section out of that file folder, and away I go.
Great. That's awesome. Okay. So Kathy said, thinking of letting you enable me to order a kit.
Yay!
Awesome.
So I will say that I am a Legit Kits affiliate, which feels really weird saying because I've never been an affiliate before. But it's one of the I'm sure you've heard other people say it doesn't cost you anything. It just lets them know that you heard about it from me and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you are on my page, there's a Linktree link that has my affiliate information and stuff, if you so care to. If not, just the fact that you want to get one, to me, is awesome, and that's all I care about. Like, I want you to have fun and do it.
Patty, one of my moderators, she actually put your link for the affiliate into the chat. So thank you, Patty.
Rock star.
And a couple people dropped your channel, and I just did again because a few people were asking the name of your channel. And if you all wouldn't mind, go over real quick and subscribe to her. Let's get Shannon to 100. She's at 83 right now.
No way. Are you serious? Woohoo!
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had like those poppers.
I know.
That's so exciting.
I will tell you though, when I was at, they popped one, or they had one of the people that was attending. And if Chesco's still here, he can tell you. They set it off in the room where we were sewing, and I did not expect how loud that was going to be.
Oh,
I was like, holy moly.
And in that big open space, I'm sure it just bounced off the walls.
Oh, it did. And then there was confetti everywhere. But yeah, confetti, we'll pretend. Confetti.
Yes, yeah. It's like confetti and the what is it? Not sprinkles, but glitter. Confetti and glitter gets everywhere.
Yes. And yes, somebody just said your mods are the best. They are. And I want to, again, before I forget, to say thank you to all of you who are moderating. You're awesome. Thank you for dropping all these links, because it's really, really hard. And Shannon was like, I don't know how you do this. watching the chat and talking, and usually sewing, not sewing today,
Yeah,
but and then trying to address things in the chat. So thank you all moderators. I appreciate that.
that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I was very like impressed because again, starting off, I'm like, how do you do all of the things, Stephanie? Tell me your ways.
It is really difficult, and like I said, sometimes things do get missed, and I do apologize for that, but I'm always happy to answer questions. If you guys have questions, you can always email me later if I missed you. But yeah, it's really hard, and Shannon, you'll learn this too, and I'm sure you are a little bit already, although you haven't gone live yet, right?
I haven't. I'm
Yeah,
doing
so
it.
it's a little different situation when you go live. If you don't have somebody sitting there helping you with all those, trying to sew, watch, answer, and sometimes when you guys are chatting, which I love seeing you chatting, but a question will just pass and I won't see it because the chat on our end moves really quickly out of view. So, and we
Yeah.
can't easily scroll back to see things. So a special thank you to the moderators for taking care of a lot of that. But yeah, that's great. Okay, let's see. I want to save up for a legit kit. The biggest problem will be which one to choose. Yeah.
It, yeah. Yeah. There are so many choices and you can't go wrong. It's like picking your favorite child. I would recommend any of them. Sail Away is really cool because it is most of Sail Away are those larger pieces of fabric. There's only one smaller section of the 8x8 that is the sailboat, and that gets teeny. But the majority of it is a really good, healthy, like 5 pieces of fabric down to 3. So you'll have a lot of time to get very comfortable before you dive into the smaller piece ones for Sail Away. So I think that's a really good one to start with. What if you really like the tiny pieces, those flowers, holy cow, those flowers are tiny, and that's a 4x4.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that was great tips on doing the bigger pieces first. I think that makes it a whole lot less intimidating because
yeah,
I could see getting a good portion, especially this one. There's a lot of big pieces of the quilt before I get to those teeny pieces.
yep,
Although I've done a lot of teeny piecing FPP, so it doesn't so much intimidate me, but I could see where it would other people. So
yeah,
that was a great tip to start with the bigger chunks so you can see that you're making progress.
yes, yeah,
So
and they do because they're so big. You're getting impact right away. It was so exciting when I did my first test blocks. I was like, wow, like this is great, and that's where I got
yeah.
addicted to it. Like it was quick to have impact, and you're then invested on. You want to see more and more and more of it get filled out.
Yeah.
They're also doing Legit Kids is also for the first time ever doing a block of the month,
Oh,
which
very
is
cool.
yeah, and that it's going to be so cool. It's this like swirly rainbow, which is
Okay,
also
so
going to be
tell us more
very.
details. Has that started yet?
They have not started taking what's the word, orders for their
Yeah.
block of the month yet. But the picture for it, and I wish I'd like printed one out. I hadn't thought about that, but the picture for it is on all their social media or their web page as well. So they have a
Okay.
lot of information on there. It's finishing up testing now. And they had actually moved, they'd had it where it was going to be, I think 4 blocks for 16 months or something like that. But each month you're doing actually four blocks, and then the last couple of months you're doing 5 blocks. I think is how they've worked it out.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that. I might be wrong, but
Okay.
they had changed it up.
Hold the phone, everybody. So I think this is a great way for all of you out there that are like a little bit intimidated and a little scared. Oh my goodness, this is
It's
perfect because they literally are going to say, this month you get these, and you have a month to get them done, which is a lot of
yep.
time. It's not a lot of pressure. Do a few at a time. Oh, that's a great idea.
Isn't it fun? It is
Yes.
gorgeous too. It's like a vortex of color, and it's a rainbow effect. And each block there's not the teeny tiny pieces like BJ, or even in Ursula in major and minor, where there are
Mhm.
sections where it's a lot tinier. these are very beginner friendly blocks for the entirety of the block of the month program.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be so
Okay,
much
there's
fun.
several people saying that they're waiting for that block of the month. So that's
Yeah.
great. Chesco said I confirm about the confetti. The cannon, yeah. Okay, now that you said that, like I totally want to do it. Do you have any idea when it's starting?
The last message they posted is that they made that decision to change the way they were going to do the blocks. So they made a couple of months more blocks. It fit better. And then that's it. So it was still in testing.
Okay.
It's on their website and on their Instagram and on their Facebook. They're talking about it a lot there. Awesome. And I for sure will be, because I want to do it, and I want to host like a sew along on my channel. I was
going to say, I feel a sew along coming in on your channel.
Absolutely, because I think it'll be so fun to, and a great way, like you were saying, a great way to dip your toe and make sure that this is something that you want to do. And I think I say this with all confidence, you will quickly find this is totally something you want to do, and you'll end up getting your kit before you've even finished 3 months of the block of the month. It's so much fun. Yeah,
that's awesome. I am so excited about that. I didn't know. So
yeah. So I will be, that will be like my first official Slay Arts sew along, will be Legit Kits block of the month. Very cool. I cannot wait, and I can't wait to sew that with you, because I'm going to do it. Yay! Yes. Okay, let's see where we're at. 10 more till 100. Woohoo! You guys are right. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Melissa said, I feel like an auctioneer, because she's telling people how many more. That's so awesome. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you all supporting my friend Shannon. You're not going to be sad that you did. She's such a lovely person. So yay. Okay, so we went over how to organize. We went over the fabrics. Is there anything else that we're missing that we didn't talk about yet that you want to tell us to give us like a great way to get started and not get off the rails right at the start? So don't, even if you're pretty confident and comfortable with FPP, and especially if you're just starting, don't be afraid to look at their cut guides and how they suggest to put them together, and be generous, because 1, they'll send you more if you need it, and 2, having to recut steals so much fabric. So it's better to be a little more generous, to go over, like on these, I'll trim them, even from the, this way, here we go. Yeah. There you go. This is your 1/4 inch. I'll even trim them probably another 1/4 inch. And so then I'm cutting, easily a 1/2 inch all the way around to match. And then making sure when I'm folding these pieces, I'm doing the same on this side of it. Because if you're sewing with a small stitch length, again, trying to rip that out is frustrating. It's just painful, because you're like, oh no, what have I done? So if you are, so also audition your pieces. You've already cut them, but you might forget which way they're supposed to lay. So when you're putting the pieces together, and then this still has all this, but when you fold it over this way and you lay, so you have a 1/4 inch or more, a 1/2 inch over this way, you lay your piece matching to where you're gonna sew it, and you want to be sure that that piece of fabric comes all the way across. So for this angled piece, you want it to come across this way, and you can audition that. You can hold it up, to the light in your room or the window, to make sure that that fabric is covering that entire section of that. And so then you can feel very confident. This is a new thing that I had not seen before, and I think is pretty cool. People will actually put their fabrics on it, fold it, and crease the fabric so that they're getting an idea of where your sew line and how much fabric you'll have from that crease line. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to watch a couple more videos because I've only seen it kind of in passing, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So also watch as much as I adore everybody coming to watch my channel. There are so many people out there. Legit Kits is getting very popular. Watch the Legit Kits ones, but watch other people that do FPP and see the hints and tips and tricks that they do, because everything you learn from all of these voices, you'll take some that work for you and you'll say, okay, well, that works for them, and you'll never use that. But you've given yourself the opportunity to maybe try something new that you end up falling in love with. So watch as much as you can.
I agree with that. I think you can learn something from just about anybody out there. And whether you take it and say, okay, it's not for me, or take it and say, oh, that helped me, it made me better. There's always something new to learn.
Yeah.
So
and there really is.
Shannon is at 94 subscribers. Yay. And I wanted to say thank you to those in the chat that are saying they just subscribed. Is Topaz, hey sweetheart. She subscribed, John subscribed, all kinds of people are subscribing. So thank you all so much. And what I want you all to know too, you'll notice in Shannon's videos that she has not been brave enough to show her face yet, but stick with her. She's doing it. This was her breakthrough thing right now, to be like, okay, this is me. This is Shannon. So very shortly, you're going to get to see her lovely face.
Yes. Yes. And I really appreciate Stephanie and Ingrid, the CSs that you guys might see chatting in the chat. Everybody has been so supportive, and it has been really helping me get over that. It's very vulnerable to show your face and have people like
very difficult
know who you are.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate everybody's support and helping me put myself out there.
Yeah. It's a very hard thing to do this. And like she said, being vulnerable, come on, open yourself up to criticism, show your face, things like that. So just remember, when you're on YouTube, if you don't like somebody's channel, just leave. Don't be unkind. Try to be a kind person, because it does affect us. There are human beings behind that. But Shannon's such a lovely lady. I told her she needs to show her face so you all can get to know her and, connect with her and love her as much as I do. So
really appreciate that. But yeah, but even in that, not everybody's cup of tea. So I get that. And I've got to pull the trigger and make my first video with my face in it. But with your help, now I have like a overhead view, and I can have my camera in front of me. So whether you like it or not, this month is coming at you.
So stick with her. Her videos so far don't have her face, but she's going to do that real soon. And congratulations, 100.
No way. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's wild.
I know.
Because that's not just your family anymore. That's not the people that have to like you anymore.
I know.
Like, oh my gosh.
I'm so excited for you. Yay.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow.
Well, holy thank you for coming on today and giving us all these amazing tips. So it really took a lot of the intimidation from me away. I bought this kit, like I said, almost a year ago. Well, a year ago now, because it was after last year's retreat. Oh my gosh, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Wow. And I just crossed my 1 year doing retreats. So, and it's not that I didn't want to do it, but because it was so big and I really didn't know where to start, or like you said, how to organize it. I kind of just put it on a shelf, and I am so happy that when I found out that you were doing this and you knew how to do all the things, I'm like, she needs to show me. So thank you for that.
Oh, that makes my heart feel so good. Yeah. My dad was a teacher, so I think I have a little bit of that in me. And so it makes me really happy when somebody like it clicks for somebody.
Oh yeah,
So that's
I can
very
see
exciting.
you're going to be a great teacher and people are going to come to your channel to learn how to do this. So that's great.
Yay.
And don't forget, if any of you sign up for the block of the month through Legit Kits, it sounds like Shannon's going to do that on her channel. I'm going to go sew with her when,
Yeah.
it happens, because yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
gonna be
fun.
exciting.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Just if if you have any questions or anything, you can even email me. It's the slayarts@gmail.com. Shoot me an email and I will help you guys out with what I've learned, and try to like give you hints and tips and tricks. But yeah, it's daunting, but it's so doable, and you're going to be so excited when you get that first one done. It's your first block, not even the whole quilt. You're gonna be so excited when you
Right.
just get that block done. It's addicting, and I don't even apologize for hooking you onto it. It's great.
Don't apologize. I'm super excited and I'm so glad that we talked about it, because that really is going to give me the push I needed to start this thing. I'm really excited to start it now. So that's because of you.
Thank you.
So people are asking what your channel name is. A couple of people that just came in, and so practically Melissa put it in the chat for me. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. And also Patty just posted the link again to Shannon's affiliate link to Legit Kits. It doesn't cost you anything to go through her affiliate link if you decide to buy one of these kits, but it helps Shannon out a little bit. So we'd love it if you wouldn't mind clicking through if you decide to get a kit. And somebody asked, what is your email again? But Ingrid just stuck it in there for us. So thank you, Ingrid.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Okay, so I don't want to keep you for too long because I'm sure you've got other things to do. But I want to say really quickly again, thank you so much, my friend, for coming on. It's been so great to have you. I'm so happy we were able to boost your channel a little bit. And I hope this helps get out to people what Legit Kits are, how to get started, and for people to come over and watch you work on them.
I just appreciate you so much. You from meeting you face to face last year in the inaugural retreat out in Millersburg,
Yeah.
you've become such a dear friend, and I really appreciate your support. And you have your own channel and you're here helping me. So that just goes to show you the kind of woman that Stephanie is, and I'm very proud to know her. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. So everybody that's here that has been sewing along the puzzle mystery quilt with us, I did see a few other people that said after I said that they haven't received their clue yet either. So I'm sure they're coming.
Yeah.
Whatever the timing was over the last week, I'm sure they're coming. So hang tight and don't make her cry, said Patty. Okay, we got all the crying out in Millersburg and they all saw my ugly cry. So we're not going to do that again. So next week, we're going to sew the puzzle mystery quilt. Like I said earlier, in case you weren't here, we decided to postpone it because this weekend, obviously, you guys know, is Easter, and there were several people who couldn't make it because they had family in town and things like that. So we pushed it to next week, and it sounds like it's a good idea, a good thing we did, since there's a lot of people didn't get their clues yet. The following week, the 22nd, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I was supposed to have a guest on with me to show a project that we've been working on together, but I'm not sure if that guest is ready. So I'll figure out something for that if that guest is not. And then the week after that, which I believe is, oh my gosh, I'm losing my date, the 29th, maybe?
Yes. Yep.
I think the 29th will be my Stephanie Stitches spring project we're going to work on. Yay! Yay! I'm super excited about that. And don't forget, if you guys got my box, if you came in late and didn't hear this or missed it at the beginning, there is a typo on the back of the pattern. I do apologize for that. It says backing 2 yards instead of back round. You need 2 yards of back round fabric. The backing fabric is going to be more than that. And I'll tell you guys when we sew it up how much backing fabric you're going to need, but that should be back round fabric. I don't think they should make those words sound that much the same.
Not fair. Not fair at all.
So that will happen. And then beginning in May, we're going to work on a charity project because y'all know I like to do charity quilts. We made a Quilt of Valor eligible quilt at the retreat, which was a lot of fun. But I also want to make some for the Snuggled in Hope camp that I've talked about before, and we'll talk about that then. And also tell you guys about, obviously a lot of you follow So Yeah, and they're going to start up their Alaska Quilt Drive again. So there'll be a few different charities. You don't have to pick one of mine. You can pick whatever one you want, but we'll do some charity sewing. And then later in May, we're going to start a new block of the week. So lots of fun stuff coming up. Okay, let's see. Del Marie said, received my spring project today. It's so lovely. Oh, great. Thank you. I'm glad.
Mine's in my mailbox. I need to get out there, get it.
Yeah, yay, good. Okay, so I guess that's it. And oh, Tracy said, your all-star quilt looks great. Thank you so much. I really love the way it came out. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I was just saying it's so pretty, like all the stars. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I am so pleased with the way it came out. I wasn't sure because these aren't typically my colors. Because these are kind of 30s sort of reproduction-ish. But I had this bundle of fabric and I was like, you know what? Let me just use it. And I really like the way it came out. So yeah, happy with that. Lori said, mistakes happen, Steph. No worries. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being pretty cool with that and patient. So we'll see you next week for the Puzzle Mystery Quit. Shannon will be here. But for now, we'll say goodbye. Shannon, hang on the line for a minute. But thank you again so much for coming. It was so fun to have you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. It was great being face-to-face for real for the first time.
And thank you for subscribing to her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Thank you so, you don't even know my heart. Oh, thank you so much.
And she really means it, I promise. So I'll see you guys really soon. Take care. Have a great week.